What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with that analysis for today. We gonna come hit y'all early with that Derrick Rose. He ended up possibly being out of Detroit, which we knew would eventually happen. Once they traded Reggie Jackson, we knew that this team was going to go on a rebuild, and they have really no young assets on this roster. And even though they have certain guys on this team that you look like, you know, they might as well try to keep them and keep them as an asset or see what they can become in a couple more years, as this is going to be the land of opportunity. Detroit, they're looking for talent and they're looking for young talent. And I heard that the Lakers was interested in trading for Derrick Rose because he is one of the best point guards on a decent contract and he still can play very well, which he showed in Detroit. And I thought Detroit was a good spot for him because he was able to stay in the league and he was able to show that he increased his mid range a little bit. He became a 3-point threat to a certain extent. And Derrick Rose, even though he didn't play the whole season and he got banged up a little bit, he still showed that he has a lot left in the tank and he can really help a team. But if I had to be honest to the Laker fans, I wouldn't pick up Derrick Rose, not because he's injury prone or not because he doesn't deserve it. I think when you look at this team this whole year, they was the number one team in the West for basically the whole entire year, and they went basically 5-5-5 in the three conference games that they did in the West, and then they beat Miami in six. So even though the main priority will be to bring back Anthony Davis, I think that they should be a little cautious with trading because you do want those Carusos and those Kyle Kuzma type of guys that are on cheap contracts that can still produce and they already fit in the system because they're already in the system because you're bringing back the same duo and you're bringing back the same head coach and the coaching staff basically. So I don't think they should trade too much and I don't think they should just go out of their way and try to get rid of players to try something new when you can continue. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. And I know the Lakers going to have to bring in some firepower to beat teams as injuries happen, trades happen, signings happen because free agents and seeing things that haven't happened yet. But if they trade for Derrick Rose, they're going to have little wiggle room because they have to give Anthony Davis his extension, which means he will make even more money than he currently do on the deal that's expiring. So I don't think that Derrick Rose, under the contract that he's in, it is a good contract for him, but it may not be a great contract for the Lakers. And I feel like he hasn't shown that he can fit with LeBron. They played in Cleveland. It wasn't the best way to judge it. It wasn't the best way to think about it because they didn't play enough together. And when he did play, they didn't really play well. But at the same time, Derrick Rose has changed. That was years ago. And LeBron has become a better mid-range scorer, and he's been shooting more threes. And he has become more of a playmaker than ever in LA, which is a change of the style in the system. And it worked because they're champions this year. And I feel like with Anthony Davis continuing to push and work, he's going to be even better. I definitely believe that. And I don't think LeBron is going to decline. I mean, he just got done playing and he was fantastic in the NBA Finals. So I think that that's going to carry over to next season. And the Lakers are going to be a contender with or without Derrick Rose. But the fact that you have to trade for Derrick Rose is the reason why I don't like it because you have to give up an asset or even multiple assets to get Rose. And I don't think he makes them significantly better. Plus, I don't even know if he will fit within this system. And if he does fit, will he be worth what you're giving up? Because everything that you have done worked. And that's why you're champions. And that's why they was able to dominate the West in the regular season and also in the postseason. So I like what the Lakers are doing. I don't think they need to go fetching dramatically for the next piece. I think that they should play their cards right in the draft. If anything, you want to try out some undrafted players, you want to try out some low pick players, and possibly use them to fill out the rest of the roster. So that way you can obviously get guys that's two to below $1 million that can contribute, and you can rely on them little because this is still AD and LeBron team, and we've seen that throughout the playoffs. As long as they're doing their thing and as long as they're playing at their level, which they are top five players, you will be fine. You will be fine if they don't get injured. But at the same time, it is going to be those veterans that they're going to be able to get. Like we seen last year, they picked up Dwight, they picked up Rondo, they get Danny Green. Those guys are free agents. Those guys going to try to do what's best for them and their families. Some guys might want to come back. Some guys going to get more opportunity because they showed some things, and teams going to want to pay them more and give them a better role. They're going to lose those guys, but at the same time, you still have some wiggle room to add some small pieces and try to run it back with what you have. And as long as you have AD and LeBron, you're going to be basically fine if they can stay healthy. And that's what any team, a lot of teams as we see now, have duos. And you can say that about any other duo. It's just LeBron and AD is the best duo in the NBA right now. And you got to hang your hat on that. And the Laker fans have to continue to trust that they can get it done and repeat. Now it's going to be tougher. Like I said, other teams are going to come back. Superstar players are going to be healthier. The other players are going to come back even better because they have the whole season plus the off season until the next season start. So we're going to see some things change up, and the Lakers are still going to be number one, number two coming into next year, depending on what happens. And they don't really have to change too much structurally, and the new guys that they bring in won't be that great, but you only need them to do a specific role, and that's it. And I think if you're going to continue to play LeBron and AD, and LeBron being the main primary playmaker, you don't need a Derrick Rose really anyway. You need more of a guy like a Rondo who showed interest in coming back, and they would love to have him back if he can continue to play like he did. And he's a guy that is unselfish. He's a guy that gets players involved, and he can score when he needs to and when he has to. And he did that the last couple years, and this year was no different. So you're not going to pay Rondo a buttload of money, and you don't really have to give up nothing but cap space, which means you lose no assets. So to me, Rob Pelinka has to be thinking, how can I re-sign AD, but also fill out the rest of the roster where we're not overpaying guys like we did with some other guys possibly was, controversial on this team the last couple of years. They don't really have that ability to overpay this year because of the AD extension. And once you get him locked into that 5-year deal or whatever he comes up to, you're going to be paying him about 35, 40 plus million. You're not going to have as much room. And now you have to basically get talent the cheap way. And Derrick Rose will not be one of those options. So I like what he brings to the table. I like what he does. And I feel like the Chris Paul thing was overblown. It's like damn near impossible for Chris Paul to even get on this team. And if he does, you're basically going to be paying tax to even have that team to even be close to 12 man. It'd be almost impossible unless you just get all undrafted guys and that are unproven. So they made a good thing with Kuzma. They did a good thing with Caruso. And they did a good thing with taking gambles on certain guys. Now it's about being more strict and being more smart with the cap and being more smart with the money. And people forget with Corona hitting, the cap is going to be even lower. So you're going to have even less wiggle room to add and make trades that can make this team the coherent favorite. So they have some things that they have to work out. But as long as they got LeBron and AD on their roster, they're going to be up there with anybody, if not the best team in the NBA, because you're just going to plug in pieces around them, and they're going to figure everything else out. And those two guys are unselfish. Those two guys are unguardable. Those two guys are dominant, and they are the best duo. So don't stress too much, Laker fans. Don't get mad if you don't get Derrick Rose, because I doubt that'll happen. And even if it does happen, you don't want to give up too much for them. And you really don't want to give up anything for him, because you can probably pick up a player that fits better, or you can pick up a player that's cheaper than him, or even two, depending on who they get. Um, and then you don't have to give up nothing. You just give up cap space and get two other guys that can be cheaper. And then you just go on and roll with the punches. So, Laker fans, pass on this trade. And I think Rob Pelinka will too. And just keep grinding. The Lakers grind all season, and they grind through the playoffs, and they're the number one team in the West. And I think that they should be the favorites currently constructed. And once these guys leave, and once some cap free up from the guys possibly leaving, or you re-sign them, don't overpay like they did last year. They had to do it because they had to get guys. Guys waited. Guys were seeing what was happening, and they had to do what they had to do to fill out the rest of the roster and make it competitive. This year, we know that AD and LeBron and Frank Vogel works. This year, they know how to play off of each other. That's less questions you have to answer. And now it's just about putting the right pieces around and putting at least 3 guys on that bench that can be contributors. And you should be right back in the title contention. Don't do the Derrick Rose trade. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link up in the description comment section below. Also, check out my older videos. If you enjoyed this video and you liked it, please like the video. Also, share it. Sharing helps the channel grow and reach more people. That's a small thing you guys can do to continue to help the channel grow. And I don't get paid, so I'm glad that I still go. And the guys, people that likes and share really does help, and I appreciate it. Not only that, my older videos on my channel. So if you like this, I have over 1,000, almost 2,000 videos. So if you like breakdowns of actual players and footage, I have rookies, legends, and also regular players, and also summer league analysis breakdowns. I also do free agency, trade deadline, top 10 lists, season previews, playoff predictions, and draft coverage. So if you love basketball, you need it, and you want that every single day, I make videos every single day. So if you didn't know that, that gives you another reason to subscribe. Also, check out my Spreadshirt. Have merchandise on sale on my Spreadshirt. That'll be in the description in the comment section below if you want to support that. Not only that, check out my Facebook page. I also have merchandise, hats, shirts on there for display. You can pick the color of the shirt. You can pick the color of the logo. You can change them to whatever color you want. And if you message me, I can get it shipped out to you. And also, enjoy the rest of y'all day. I'll be coming to y'all with a video on Wednesday. If anything else come up, I'll be right back with another video today. But other than that, you know, the Lakers in a good position right now. Lakers was a little iffy 2 years ago. Now they looking a whole lot better as champions, and we'll see if they can repeat. I'm gone.